Hey guys, Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and this is a little Call of Duty on the Xbox One, but it's Mail Monday, so it's not so much about the gameplay. Instead, it's about your questions and my answers to them. Here we go! So before I get going, I want to say my first letter mentions the existence of homosexuality. If that kind of thing offends you, this might not be the video for you. But let's go. Not gay, or am I? Hello, Woody. If you're reading this, thank you so much. I need some help. I've been a long-time viewer, and I have a question. I have 6 sisters and a brother. I've grown up around girls, so naturally, I'm better at talking to girls, and I'm a little more feminine than other guys. I was visiting my family for Christmas, and my uncle, 23 years old, wouldn't shut up about how I'm gay, or how at least one of us has to be. What he doesn't know is that my sister's gay, and she came out to my family, but not the entire family. I don't think I'm gay, but does he know something I don't know, or is he just being an immature bitch? You know, I picked this one because I thought there might be a lot of people. Like, I'm not gay, and I'm going to talk about that. But I will say that, like, when I was a teenager, sometimes I wondered, or in my case, maybe I'm a homophobe, who knows? I worried I was gay. Like, I wonder if I'm gay. Like, gosh, I hope not. You might have that same sort of thing. I'm not a homophobe, don't get me wrong. But here's the test I suggest that you present to yourself if you wonder if you're a little bit gay. Imagine it. Imagine it. Imagine sex with a girl and sex with a guy, just in your head. Think about, you know, the skin to skin. Think about, you know, the holding some guy's shoulders, you know, as you go about this act. If that sort of thing is revolting to you or a turnoff to you, then you're probably not gay. You know, like I remember when I was a little kid, we used to have these babysitters, right? We had lots of different babysitters. And there was one, he was a neighbor's kid, and he would always get into my dad's nudie magazines. They were stored on top of the refrigerator, and he would come over and we'd be like, get him, get him, get him. And I didn't even know what sex was. I didn't know. I hardly had concepts of what female beauty was. But I knew, looking at pictures of naked women in a Playboy magazine, that was for me. That like I you know, he would say this one's Foxy, and I'd be like, you know, is that one Foxy? This is like the 70s when girls were called Foxy. You know, I wanted to know, and I wanted to, we'd hear that he was our babysitter, and I was anxious and excited for the fact that he was going to break out the pictures of the naked women, because he always did, and we knew where they were, and it was just part of the thing. And that, to me, is kind of one of the ways I knew I wasn't gay. Like, even though I didn't even know about sex, and I hadn't even formed concepts on what I liked about women or not, I just freaking instinctively knew I liked women. Yeah. And imagining sex with the dude, right? Like, I imagine his, like, muscled deltoids or something. Like, that's not my cup of tea. Right? You know, like, sex with the dude, what he has to offer isn't for me. So if you worry that you're gay, figure out what you like. Being effeminate or getting along well with girls doesn't make you gay. It might make you a player. Or by the way, I think there's a spectrum on this thing, right? You know, if you're totally into girls in the same way that I mentioned, just sort of instinctively, and that's how you're wired, but you know, the thought of a dude isn't completely revolting, or, you know, the devil's threesome might be something that sounds like your cup of tea. Maybe you're 40% gay, not 100%, right? Maybe you've got a little in there. Maybe you're somewhat bi or pan or whatever. You know, there's a spectrum on this thing. You know, I think a lot of people who identify as bisexual, if they thought it through, might identify themselves as 2/3 gay or 2/3 straight, but, you know, not necessarily pansexual, which, if I understand it right, means that they barely even have a preference. So anyway, you worry that you're gay, dude. First of all, don't worry about it. You are who you are. But if you want to know, give yourself the test, and you know, think about it in more graphic terms, and figure out you know, where you stand on the issue, and then wherever you stand, best of luck to you. This is a long one, but hang in there. Mail Monday success. Trying to keep it short. Well, I'm 19 and I grew up under unusual circumstances. Most people in my immediate family having mental illness and myself being diagnosed with OCD and bipolar. During my junior year of high school, I had to drop out due to stress and depression. It got that serious. For my international people, junior year of high school means he was like 16 or 17, and he had a year and a half left to go in school. I didn't want to believe depression could ever do something like this to me. It wasn't until a year later that I agreed to go to Harvard's inpatient facility for people with OCD, depression, and other mental illnesses. I didn't stay long. Even my parents agreed these people weren't going to help me personally, even if the doctors there had success with other patients. I came home even more depressed, thinking there was no hope for me. After hitting rock bottom, the lowest point of my life, I made a change. And I can't help but think you played a tiny part in that. Your Mailman Monday videos always speak out to me, and I think your advice is perfect. In September 2013, I took the GED and averaged 93% in all categories, the highest score of anyone who took the GED that day. If people don't know, it's a general equivalency degree, and what it is if you don't finish high school, you can take the GED, and it's a test that's the general equivalency diploma, I think, and it just shows you've got the same sort of stuff and intelligence and foundation and knowledge that a high school graduate would have. So you can take a test, and it's kind like employer might look at it, or a college might look at it and say, "Oh, this guy's, basically the same as someone who finished high school. He has his equivalency diploma." Well, now I got accepted into my number one choice university, and as a student, I'll be starting there in mid-January. Without the social aspects of high school for so long, and being depressed for so long, I can't effing wait to go. I'll go through any momentary social discomfort right now if it means I don't have to be this depressed guy anymore. Your advice about picking yourself up by your bootstraps, reasoning with your parents, building confidence, pushing away toxic friends, and not going near crazy ladies has always been something I kept in the back of my mind, and when push comes to shove, and it counts, I made decisions you might have been proud of. I love your videos, I love PKA, and I just want to let you know that even though I never asked directly for your advice to others is inspirational. I picked this letter because I found him inspirational. I share this thing with him, and that I didn't thrive in high school, right? For people who don't know, my grades were terrible in high school. Totally, 1.98 GPA, if that means anything to my American friends. That's what I graduated with. I did terrible. I didn't do drugs. I didn't really mess up. I just didn't work at it. And, this guy, he had some, I guess, mental challenges, right? Mental illness issues that he had to work through that prevented him from being the best version of him. But the point that I wanted to say, the reason that I picked this video was that life is long, right? You get more than one chance to succeed. You get to rock this thing again and again, right? It's obvious, it's cliche. Life is the longest thing you'll ever do. People think their life is over at 16 years old. People think that nothing good is going to be coming their way, and they're still young. Dude, you have so much more to do. If you're 35 years old and you're watching this and you never went to college, but you want to, you can. You really can. I went to night school. It was filled with people like you. When I got my master's degree, I was a person like you. I was like a full-fledged grown-up with I had a wife and a kid, and a pregnant wife toward the end, and at the very end of graduation, 2 kids. That's a thing. So anyway, life is long, and anytime you want to take another direction, like anytime you want to be a different guy, be a better guy, you get the choice to do that. And I'm pretty psyched for this guy that he decided to execute on that opportunity. And even though, he was a high school dropout, now he's in his first choice university. And that's pretty exciting to me. He gave me way too much credit. I mean, I read his email and I made this decision. I did this thing. I did that other thing. He's the reason for his success, of course. But, you need to know, like, if you're sitting there right now thinking that you're not on the course that you aspire to be on, you can convert yourself into a doer and take the course that you want to be on and just make it happen. So, anyway, his letter was exciting to me, so I thought I'd share it. So I was a little worried this letter would be the sort that gets me in trouble. It seems every month or so there's a Mail Monday letter question that I answer that everyone decides to get upset about. This might be the one. But if I let that stop me, I wouldn't be making the videos that you guys want to see. Anyway, here we go. How to get her to rumble. Hey Woody, first off, love the vids, keep them coming. I have this girlfriend of mine and we've been dating for a while now, and I was just wondering, how do you actually get her into wanting to go down with you? I haven't seen a question like this, and I think it would help many struggling men. All right, so I don't know how old this guy is, right? And I don't even know what he means by going down with you. It could be anything from tongue kissing to full sex. I doubt it's less than tongue kissing, let's be real. But what he wants is, it seems, and I'm reading into this letter too much, to sort of rack up some points on the scoreboard. I'm not getting that he wants to be intimate with this girl. I'm not getting that he feels like, you know, our connection and our bond would go to the next level if we had some physical intimacy to match our emotional intimacy. What I'm getting, and I could be wrong on this, is that he wants to score, right? And I can see why he's not, right? A lot of girls, most girls. Now you've got your other girls, the friends with benefits girls, the girls who just want to score, have the traditional guy mindset. But most girls want some kind of assurance that you're there for her, that you care about what's on the inside, that you want more than that. And this, you know, if you want her to willingly take these things to the next step, she needs to feel confident that your emotional bond with her is strong. I had a letter that I didn't use on Mail Monday about a girl and a guy who had had sex and it was painful for them. But it was interesting in that you could read how much he cared about her and how he wanted this to be a much better experience for her. How, you know, it was both of their first times, and you know, he wants it to be the sort of loving exchange of, you know, physical intimacy to match their emotional intimacy. You could see that, and he just wanted some advice on how to make sex not hurt, because they had only done it once. You're not giving me that. You're giving me, Woody, how can I get her to give it up? You know, give me some bro tips here. And I don't really have the bro tips for you, because that was never really my game. You know, I didn't date women, even as a kid, who I didn't think were girlfriend material, or you know, as I got older, I guess that translated into pretty much wife material. You know, to me, the key to getting some girl to sleep with you, if that's your target there, is to actually really care about her, and you know, and have her care about you like that. It's not very player, right, to say that, but it's not such a bad place to be. Like, I'm pretty happy with that. You know, it's a really nice thing to have sex in the context of a relationship where you care about this person. And you know, that doesn't mean that it can't be that like athletic variety of downtown sex, but you know, that it's just a piece of the puzzle that you both enjoy. And yeah, so that's my advice to you. You know, is stop racking up the scoreboard, or if that is your deal, you got the wrong girl. So best of luck.